So I've grown quite a few trees before in the past, but I have never actually grown trees as part of a project. So I'm going to be doing a little series across the next year or two, or probably forever really, on growing trees like how a nursery would. But you know, we're going to donate these trees, sell some, and stuff like that. So yeah, they'll all go to good use. So we've got to collect the seeds now, get some planted. So I say the next 5 episodes will be just getting stuff planted, and then that will be growing them, and then we'll be, you know, out planting them in their permanent position and stuff like that. So yeah, first we're going to collect some seeds. So here we have, you know, quite a large oak tree, you know, very nice indeed. And here we have, you know, a low branch here, so it can collect some acorns. You know, they're just about ready because you can just pop them straight out of the cap on the tree. Collect some off the floor if you want to. I'm just going to grab some like that. Very easy. I really like oak trees because, you know, they live quite a decent life. You know, they live quite a decent lifetime, and they can grow upright for, you know, timber and that, or they can grow nice and bushy like this. So there's quite a few nice ones on here. So yeah, acorns are good because you know, for their wildlife and that, but it's also good for pigs. You know, if you have pigs underneath the oak trees. Obviously you won't be planting oak trees now to have pigs underneath them in like 5 years time, but you know, long term, you know, it's got lots of benefits, and you know, it's also quite a decent wood to use. You know, getting quite a few, you know, they're just starting to turn brown, so you know, that's when they're at their best. Green is all right, I say, anywhere from September all the way up until like November. Here you can see where there's an acorn and then there's something coming off the side of it. It's what's called a gall wasp, and that is like a little maggot thing that goes inside of the acorn, and then it like creates like this thing on the side here. So I'll try and put you down and break this off so you can see the hole. I mean, quite stiff. There we go. As you can see, it's broken off. If we can get this to focus, you can see, you know, where it's sort of gone in there, and you know, you might be able to get that to grow depending on how it's, you know, developed, but you know, most of the time you won't get much out of it. Here you can see another bad example of an acorn, and then here you've got a nice one. It's best to pick the big ones, but yeah, if you don't have that many, just get what you can. So I'm gonna get quite a few more. I've got some more that we netted up as well that I'm probably going to do later because they're like a backup as well. As you can see, you get some really nice big ones here, and oops, I've dropped that. And you know, they're really good to get a nice tree growing quite quickly really. You might think it's a slow growing tree, which it is, but you know, you can get them growing quite quickly in the first few years if you grow them, you know, with lots of mulch and keep weeds clear around them. They are quite a fast growing tree to start with. So here we have, you know, just a wooden box essentially at the moment of where I've been propagating trees. Here you can see a 1-year-old oak tree. Here, this will be planted soon, but yeah, we're just going to be planting this half of the box for now. The box is sort of rotting away. As you can see, it does have bricks just stacked up around it, but I would like to, you know, actually set the bricks in around it, make a brick raised bed, and also just make it a bit bigger over there, so we have 3 times as much space. I would like to get lots of these little propagation beds, if you will, or seedling beds, for growing trees in. So if you would like to help me out with that more, I have left the donation link down below in the description and up on screen, so I can get compost and that and materials to build these extra beds. And I also would like to thank everyone who has just been watching my videos and that, because that really does help me to get stuff growing like this. And also, if you do have a YouTube channel or are planning on making one, I would like you to do the same. Just, you can grow some in some pots. I will show you me doing that in future videos as well, so we can donate trees to tree planting organisations, because no one has, well, not many people have all that space to plant all these trees. I'm not going to be able to plant 1,000 trees here myself, but I will be able to donate some for other people to plant, and it all helps, because trees are just absolutely amazing, because they support lots of wildlife. It's good, it's like a little bit of investment as well, because with wood and that, and it's just really cool to see trees develop. So yeah, it's best to get some planted now. So yeah, if you have a YouTube channel, it will be great for you to do videos on setting trees or planting them from seed or whatever. And even if you don't, if you're not making videos, I would like everyone to have a go at growing some trees from like acorns or berries or whatever, because it's so simple, and you don't really have to maintain them that much. If you get them into like little saplings, you could then donate them to tree planting organisations. So with acorns, I like to put them in water. The ones that sink are the viable seeds, because they don't have air pockets in them. They've all sank so far. The ones that have air pockets in them will float, and the reason they might have air pockets in is because a grub or something might be in there. So there we go, 2 have floated. There we go, 3's floating. So the ones that are floating probably have a hole in or something. But if you see any more with holes in, just get rid of them. I'm just going to put all of these in. There we go. And 2 more. So all these ones that are floating here, I'm just going to get rid of those, because there might be something in them that might go to other seeds. As you can see, they have bits of, I don't know if I can show you that, but as you can see, they have bits of damage on them, which is probably where a bug or something got in, a grub or something. But it can also show an undeveloped seed in there, so they're all good. So I'm just going to set that there, let a bit of that water out too, and simply all I'm going to do is put these in this bed. I want to give them like a period of dormancy, so I'm just going to do this naturally. I'm just going to do some lines here. They're going to be planted very close together, because that draws them up into nice tall saplings, and that means if they're planted with tree guards around them, it's a one big straight stem. So I'm just going to get some and put them about 1 inch or 2 away from each other. Do them closer if you wanted to. So you can do it like that, or just push them in. I'm going to stagger these a bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you're going to dig all these up anyway. That one's got a mark on there, even though it sank. It's got a mark on it, and it might grow, but I don't want it having anything in it that could get to all the seeds and that. So because I've got lots of them, I'm just go to use the best ones I've got. Just got to chuck them on there. I don't know if we're going to fit all of these in. Might put some in some pots, I'll show you that. It's best to put them in deep containers if you're doing them in pots, because then they can send the tap root out, the main root out far down easily. So I have just pushed them about twice their own depth into the soil. As long as you don't put them upside down, you know, that flat bit at the top is the top, so as long as you don't put that facing down, because the taproot breaks out of the bottom here. But I just push them in on the side or however they go in, as long as they're not upside down. They should be fine, because you know they don't land perfectly down, and squirrels don't bury them perfectly, you know, downwards in the soil. So I don't bother about it too much. You know, that taproot will force its way down straight anyway, as long as you don't put it completely upside down. That should be fine. So now it's just put some netting over it so the squirrels don't get to it, and yeah, that should be fine. So here I'm going to plant some acorns in a container. You know, it's quite deep. We're going to just fill it up with some multi-purpose compost. You don't want to use, you know, normal garden soil, because that can't drain as well in here, and it will just get clogged up and it'll get all messy, and the acorns are more likely to rot or whatever you're planting in it. So yeah, here I'm just going to get a few and put in here like so. I'm going to put these down so it's just easier with the soft compost. Just some multi-purpose compost. I'm not going to put tons in here because obviously it's a container, it will run out of moisture quickly, and you know, we're going to have to keep watering this and that to make sure it stays moist. And then I'm just going to put some compost over the top like so. This compost is quite dry, so I'm going to have to, you know, give it a good watering after. You know, we're going to leave all this outside so the elements can get to it, and it can get its dormancy period. So in the UK there is 2 native oaks. Here we have English oak, but there is English oak and sessile oak, or however you want to say it. The best way to tell the difference between the two is English oak has like stalks coming off the acorns, and sessile oak, you know, it's more in little clusters all compacted together, you know, with no sort of stalk coming off it, it's coming straight off the branch. So that's how you tell the difference mainly. I'm just going to pat that down like that, give that a good old watering, and you know, protect it from the squirrels if there is anything nearby that, you know, will dig up your nuts, because you don't want that. So now I'm going to plant some hawthorn berries as well. So you know, we're going to get quite a range of species grown here. And also another thing on oaks, I believe white oak sprouts pretty much as soon as it touches the ground, but we don't have that here in the UK native, but I know some of you in America do have white oak, that does sprout, you know, as soon as it touches the ground. And there's lots of information out there on the different types of oak and trees and that, you know, there's quite a wide range of, you know, oaks and different types of birch even and stuff like that, things you wouldn't expect there to be many species of, and there is actually quite a wide range of stuff. So yeah, let's plant some hawthorn. So hawthorn doesn't need such a deep pot, you know. I'm just going to use a pot like this, and I'm just going to chuck a bunch of berries in, and they can still be attached to the stalk and leaves and that. I just chuck the whole raw berries in like that, you know, nice and ripened in that still. You can If I get a bigger berry for a bigger seed inside. They've got quite, like little stones in here. Well, they're quite big, in my opinion, for the berry, but they have little stones in there and you can extract them and just plant them like that. But just for ease, I just chuck a bunch of berries in some pots and they'll be thinned out anyway. So I say you get about 50% success rate in there. I like to do the same with rowan. Rowan has, little seeds. But I will do rowan in a later video. Rowan is like what they call mountain ash. So you can do this in sand. I just took a layer on like that. Do it however you want. You've just got to stop them from rotting over winter, but you've got to get nice and cold. And you've also got to let them sprout through something. So I put a thin layer of compost on like that, and then I will get some sand and put on top of that, just to improve a bit of drainage. You can mix sand in the multi-purpose compost if you want, but I just put a bit of sand on the top because I just find they do a little bit better if you put a bit of sand on the top. So here, as you can see, they're not that covered either that much, so I'm just gonna put a bit of sand on here. You can do all sand if you want to, and then in spring put the berries in their own pots. Just a layer of sand like that. I think there's a bit too much in there. I'll just put that in the acorn bit, and it all helps. This also just stops a bit of mould that might form at the top in spring, and some weeds in that. So I like to put a bit of sand on top for the berries, like rowan, hawthorn, and stuff like that. We're going to do birch, rowan, and stuff like that in the next episode probably, but that is hawthorn done. People do it many different ways, but like I said, it's just getting them through winter so they get that dormancy period, and so making sure they don't rot, and then you will have some nice trees. Here is an example of a 1-year-old hawthorn seedling. As you can see, it's just in a little pot on its own. That's one that hasn't been transplanted out yet. And here we have some crab apples, just apple seeds grown. Try and get them grown a bit more before winter hits. So yeah, I'm going to be documenting you all on this. I'm going to be documenting this and sharing my experiences with you, so we can all grow quite a few trees. And I'm just going to put these on here for now, whilst I don't have that much space. And I'll just chuck some netting over that and it should be fine, because there is quite a few squirrels around at the moment and we don't want them taking those seeds or nuts or anything like that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video or found it useful, and if so, remember to click that like button and press subscribe with notifications on so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And apart from that, I think this is looking a bit rough at the moment, but once we get some bricks around here it will look nice, and we'll do the other half. I'll get those other trees out there, and we'll also get another raised bed in here, I think. So if you want to help out with that, I've listed the donation link down below in the description. And yeah, thank you very much to all those people that have donated in the past. Yeah, click here to watch my latest video and click below it to watch the next episode of this little mini project series thing. If it isn't uploaded yet, it will just be one of my other videos, but I will list it there once the next episode has been uploaded. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. So bye bye everybody.